You know, I'm the oldest in my family. Okay? Sisters, brothers, uncles, aunts, the whole 9 yards. I'm the oldest one left in my family. My parents have passed away. Okay, I'm nearly in my mid-60s. I have brothers, I have nephews, many nephews. I've made a lot of friends in my life. So, you know, I used to be someone's son, right? Okay, I'm someone's father, okay? And I'm someone's nephew. I'm someone's brother. And so, with those family values in mind, and only those family values in mind, okay, I'd like you to think about something for a moment, right? Every moment we create that we treasure the most throughout our life, right, is through the influence of our own decisions, right, with our family values. Loyalty, honour, respect, morals, empathy, remorse, inspiration, encouragement. You know, we can all relate to certain things in the world, no matter who we are, where we come from, no matter what we believe in. As a person, as a human being, we can relate to one thing around the world right now, right? There's a lot of people, right? A lot of people dividing at the moment, right? With their own family, loved ones and friends through whatever decisions are made. I mean, we can talk about COVID or the vaccination. It doesn't matter what it is. We can talk about political things, far left, far right. We can talk about Christianity. We can talk about political stuff. We can talk about anything, any new belief system in the world. If we really stop and take a good look at something else, can you see how many people debate? Can you see how many people want to be competitive? Egotism. So many people actually backstab each other, discredit one another, debunk, debate. A lot of people believe in their own truth with new belief systems all over the world, like a comfort zone. You can see they're becoming weak, sensitive, highly emotional, really easy. You can see a lot of people is in stress, fear, anxiety, confusion, frustration, delusion, paranoia. A lot of people over-exaggerating everything. A lot of people calling each other conspiracy theorists. Evil, nasty, crazy, mental, belittling one another, backstabbing each other. You know, I think we can all relate to that, right? I think anyone in the world can, can't they? Because they're happening, these things are happening worldwide, okay, and everybody's talking about it in real life, okay? Reality is it's happening to everybody. And a lot of people just don't care. I mean, reality is, right? It seems like a lot of people in the world can't have a genuine intellectual conversation. It seems like real family values are really dying in the world, like the care factor. You know, like if you're my age, right, and anyone my age with my experience with them and all this, right, one thing I've come to learn is that one thing we've always known, our mind plays tricks and games on us. We always become our own worst enemy with the decisions we make. The way we think and judge all the time, mentally and psychologically with a high IQ, that only makes you good at what you do, but not intelligent. Thinking outside the mind, right, with your intuition, is what everything's all about, isn't it? Isn't that what life's all about? Isn't it about our family values? Isn't it about every moment that we treasure the most, that we create? Isn't that what it's really all about? Family, loved ones and friends. Isn't that what life's really all about? Love, compassion, loyalty, honour, respect, moral, remorse, inspiration, encouragement. Isn't that exactly what's dying here? Isn't that the very thing that keeps getting moulded all the time? And it seems like we just keep twisting the fabric of truth with modern engineering. Social engineering, right? Look, just bear with me for a moment. We give a child an iPhone at about 5 years old, a smartphone. There's more kids sexually frustrated by 8 years old today than ever in global history. recording every document, right? And we know that. We can see that with agendas everywhere. We can also see how people behave about it, right? Always trying to do the right thing, right? And taking a lot of wrong decisions by trying to do the right thing. More nervous, more fear, more stress, more anxiety. And you know, stress and anxiety is going through the roof and collapsing our immunity system. I mean, that's on every document, right? We suffer from so much stress and stress-related diseases, it's going through the roof. So those people are taking happy pills and drugs because they can't cope. It's going through the roof as well. I've given you a lot of information about this. It's dramatic. People can't cope. Now, if ADHD medication and mental disorder tablets has gone up 26 times in 22 years, if ADHD medication's gone up 36 times since 1994, if methamphetamine in the underground world on illicit drugs has gone up 5,000 times in use since 1980, and if we can have urine tests by governments and politicians and Defence Force in Australia in 2016 by Tony Abbott that comes back that they're 57% positive and 78% of people admitted to using it on mainstream media, and if that continues to escalate, and it is confirmed, on mainstream media, right, just a few weeks ago, there was a report on mainstream that said that 14 countries run out of ADHD medication. I mean, what? I mean, should we not just stop and take a look at this ourselves, right, and see what's going on in our backyard with everyone? What's happening here, man? What's really happening, okay? Look, there's a new thing called Havana syndrome reported in 96 countries with research done. I also done the peer report reading on what they call zombie virus and body snatchers. What we see on vaccinated people dropping out of the blue, what we're seeing is people losing their vertigo, their balance, people talking about pins and needles, dizzy spells, insomnia, amnesia, and concussion. That's what's in all these documents, right? And they don't know what it is. But they are saying, you know, they have said we lost our sixth sense, our most positive power to think outside the mind with their intuition, with our natural motor skills, and we think too much mentally and psychologically, and conquer and divide with egotism and judgmental behavior. They said this, right? And they're saying on all these reports and the peer reports that it's like some sort of magnetic field. Well, we live in negativity all the time, and negativity is spreading like a virus amongst all of us, and we're feeling it wherever we go. We're disconnecting from each other. We don't talk to each other in the streets anymore. We don't talk to our neighbours, our loved ones. We are scared, and we live inside on social media platform. We entertain ourselves all the time. We're becoming disconnected from our family values, our loved ones, and our natural organic motor skills. We are literally getting stripped from our sixth sense in the most positive fields. We're not optimistic anymore. We seem to come more to the worst conclusion all the time and think of the worst all the time. And then we argue, debate, and divide, and we conquer, debate, and divide. We become more selfish and judgmental, more competitive. Every single 10 years, it's going fast track. And you know what? That's what they're saying. And we're dealing with it now everywhere around the world, aren't we? Aren't we all dealing with this? I want you to consider something just for a moment, right? I heard a scholar say, top scholars in the biblical field, right, saying that 98% of all Christianity and religious people all over the world is also behaving with political behaviour and judgmental behaviour, right? Very mental now. That's what they said. They said they're all polarised and becoming very mental the same way everyone else is around the world. Conquer, debate, divide. They said there's now 12 different types of Christianity, and Christianity is about having a relationship. It's not about religious. Like our relationship that we have, right? Okay, I just want to explain something to you. I'm not getting biblical on you. But our relationship, right, it's proven through science now today that we think in the wrong mindset, and our positive view is to think instinctively is with our natural organic motor skills, with 8 tools of what they call righteousness in the Bible, and what the Shulam Mastermind monks and Buddhists and the indigenous people say. 8 tools of righteousness, right? And we don't even know what they are. Well, the code in our DNA, when we feel things through the atmosphere that we create from the moments that we treasure so much for our own family values. It's with loyalty, honour, respect, moral, immorality, inspiration, encouragement. They are our quantum fields and our quantum mechanics in the most positive fields with our sixth sense. And then we have an outside influence in the most positive fields by being optimistical. And they happen to be the building blocks of a loving, compassionate creature. And it says on the documents by the biggest scholars in the world that we are loving, compassionate creatures. We're not evil. We're not psychologically mental, but that's what we've been designed into. And that's what we use all the time with egotism and a high IQ that only makes us good at what we do, but it's 5 senses on negative fields. Now, we're only supposed to use this part of our mind 1 to 5% of the time to work things out with, right? And our IQ is based on 98% memory. It's a memory box. It's 5 senses. But we think psychologically 95 to 99% of the time on every document, on cellular study research proven on documents, in our DNA evidence, and our beta-bacteria is collapsing all over the world. That's our immunity system, right? No matter how you look at things, it's a fact. It's just a fact of life, right? And it doesn't seem like anyone wants to believe in that. Why? Why is it they keep going the same way? Because that's what they're saying. Ever since this was reported in 1999, it became 5 times worse by 2019, accelerating 7 times faster. And that's now fully confirmed solid, right? And you can see that in 220 onwards with what's happening here now. You can see how people are today. And everyone's exaggerating the truth. Did you know that it's been declared by the top bowlers in the whole world and 45,000 scientists, professors, it's been declared that their documents is to be competitive and designed that way, and they're all wrong and they all suffer this, right, from voices in the mind that's ultimately designed for human extinction. We think too much with voices in our mind. When we think critically, a voice tells us to do it and another voice tells us not to, and it's a wrong mindset. They tell us this, that we have, our worst enemies in our mind. We become our own worst enemy when we think all the time. Now we mentalize with everything. And we normalize that. We believe in our own truth and come to our own conclusion with reasoning. Completely inverted. Right? Reported on documents. We're in the wrong mindset. The world's in the wrong mindset. And you know what? If you really think about this with some basic common sense, that's exactly what's missing here. We can't use our basic common sense. We can't use our natural organic motor skills. We can't think outside the mind. We keep thinking with the mind, trapped in the mind, and they declared that voices are ultimately designed for human extinction, and no one believes in that. Well, you can see people take drugs to numb themselves because it's a true serum and they cope. So everyone's taking drugs all over the world and habits to cope, or entertain themselves to create endorphins to create high and get high in their own supply to cope. Look, if you look at every child in the world right now on Snapchat and Instagram, and you look at all the chat programs, if you look at all the beautifications, right? Look at how many catfish in America there are. Look how they're all psychological down there, right? Completely psychological with all these tools. They're responsible for everything on social media platform and misinformation and propaganda. They're the most egotistical, right? They're fact checkers. Like YouTube today took me down for the video that exposed about what's been said on mainstream media about vaccinations, right? In Parliament House by Congress. They said it was misinformation. It wasn't. The documents were there. There wasn't one bit of information. I only gave a report about vaccinations with Congress, right, in Queensland Parliament. And the documents are supplied and how they responded to it. When they discovered that gene therapy is now in every document in the world, and they said there was no such thing as gene therapy. So it's a lie, and it's on every document admitted by the vaccination companies. And people argue about it immediately and go and brain locked and all about this, right? So we discovered we got lied to by the same companies that admitted to it. So we discovered we did in fact get lied to in Congress all over the world, and the vaccination companies and FDA has admitted to lying to us. They have admitted, and you know what? The whole world thinks we're telling misinformation. Like the fact check Google people, right, on YouTube, right, has taken 13 accounts down and keeps suppressing me non-stop for telling exactly what's being said in the mainstream with the right documents. Now, what does that tell you about the people working for YouTube? Because I'll tell you what, I'm blocked on Rumble for telling the truth as well, and also Telegram and many other platforms that you have faith in. I find that astonishing. They're using the same tools and blocking me for the same reasons, right? So you can see it's all American. Every single thing happening with propaganda, lies, fact check, Google, all American, all controlled in America. They're pushing the same entity from America and countries all over the world knows it on front stage media, UN Parliament as well, and they're saying, I'm a liar. They've been reporting this, right? They're going against everything with mRNA. All over the world they are, right? But it's only America that lies. It's only their platforms and the ones down there that are so crazy right now and so two-faced all over the world and think they're chosen with nothing but lies. And I reported this, that I'm showing all the lies they tell non-stop. Non-stop, right? Non-stop lies every day on every single platform with over-exaggeration. Every truth fighter, every freedom fighter. And you know what? People find me starting to see it. From vaccinated people or not. From people who had COVID or not. Far left, far right or not. People with family values in the right place are starting to see what I'm identifying. That, in fact, majority of the whole media system and everybody in the platforms, right, are trying to create a name for themselves and being competitive and telling you exactly what's being told by Jeremy Griffiths and the top models in the whole world. 60,000 types of bipolar, 22,000 types of ADHD, right, 12,000 types of psychosis, and every report around the world, it's the same thing. So it shows you how mental the whole system is, because it's proven how mental the whole system is. 40,000 teachers all over the world, right, teach with their opinions and their own judgment and their own conclusion admitted to this. We can go to a country with grade 7 students across the country and they're different because of the teachers. And they have admitted to this. They all suffer from competitive, selfish, egotistical, competitive behavior and come to their own conclusion and living their own truth with voice in the mind that tells them to do that all the time. So everyone's listening to the wrong voice in the mind, and now thousands and thousands of people, scientists, professors, teachers, and people all over the world is starting to tell the truth and say, you know what? We are in the wrong mind and we have voice in the mind that tells us to do this, and we're designed that way, to come to our own conclusion with reasoning. And it's not right. It's causing every other effects to such a way that even the zombie virus or Havana syndrome, the zombie virus, and also the body snatching virus, and what we're seeing with vaccinations on all over the world, people dropping, half of those people are not vaccinated. Right? Honestly, I'm not kidding you. Half of those people who watch dropping vaccination, that everyone says, oh, look, everyone's dying from vaccination. First of all, a lot of them are not vaccinated. Right? We can see that with the Havana syndromes. Right? People dropping like this, losing their vertigo, right? And getting concussion. People dropping all over the world. In 96 countries, we've got millions of reports of this. I've got 15,000 people on my platform also going through these mythologic events where they're getting dizzy spells, vertigo, and also dizzy spells where they forget about it, like amnesia. Right? And they've had 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 events. So thousands and millions of reports all over the world that's undiagnosed and not reported. I'm dealing with 15,000 here, and many of them had 6, 7, 8 events. So everyone's starting to go something in their mind, losing their vertigo, right? Losing their sixth sense, losing their mind, right? And they're saying they don't know if it's stress-related on all the platforms in 96 countries. It seems like something in the mind, right? And it is. It's not an EMP, it's not a pulse, but they say we're losing some sort of pulse, a magnetic pulse. Something to do with the shift in magnetic pulse. It's not. It's a shift in your mind. It's the sixth sense in the most positive fields. We live in that much negativity now that these adverse effects are happening all over the world, and it's called the human conditioning. It's called the wrong mindset, and no one's facing it. No one believes in it. No one's been wanting to believe this since 1999. Now you look what's happening all over the world. Every single one of these documents and peer reports go into these things. You realize what you're watching all over the world, that people's talking about people being vaccinated, dropping from. Half of them are not vaccinated, and not only that, they're not dying neither. A lot of them are going into hospital, right, and declared a zombie virus or body snatching because they can't use their motor skills. They've lost their sixth sense and they've lost their natural organic motor skills. Now, you can see by the way people behave alone and how mental they are all over the world and how they behave in your own backyard with your family, lovers and friends. You can see how negative people are, and they're not positive with an aura anymore. There's no love, there's no compassion, there's no loyalty, honor, respect, morals. You can see everyone's in this zombie virus. Everyone's in this robotic behavior. Everyone's using psychological mental behavior. No one's got any compassionate feelings. No one's using the right tools with family values. They conquer and divide that birthdays are falling apart, Christmas are falling apart, Sunday roast dinners is falling apart, barbecues are falling apart. All family values on every level is completely falling apart. And everybody knows it. Everybody knows it's true. Friends, you're lucky if you have faith in 2 or 3 people in real life. Right? Some people are blessed with more, I know that. But you know, if you go back 40 years ago, we used to have the front doors open, the windows open. We used to talk to everyone over in the streets, right? We knew everyone in the shop smiling everywhere. Everyone was so positive, right? Loving people everywhere, right? Not afraid, not controlled by fear, stress and anxiety, or not enough hours a day, or polarized into a screen. They were out there getting connected. We knew everybody in the neighborhood for miles. We knew every neighbor in the street. We talked to every person in the street. We were all connected, right? Sure, you liked some more than others and some weren't that good, but you knew everybody. And you were on friendly basis with every person in the street. Everyone, man, right? We had 67% more murders. 67% murders have dropped today over the last 40 years, right? 37% violence has dropped in 40 years. 37% worldwide, right? So how come everyone's so afraid? How come if the murder rates and violence has dropped down that much, how come everyone's far more afraid and everyone's locking their doors, closing their doors, talk to nobody? And they conquer and divide with their own family members and friends, and moral values have gone out the window, man. The care factor's dying. Where's the love? Yeah, you know, we can all relate to that. Where's the love? Let me explain something to you. Okay? Let me explain something to you as someone with old, pronounced wisdom and knowledge, and old men of renowned wisdom and knowledge. Let me explain something to you, all of you. First of all, you come to your own conclusion with reason, right? And believe in your own truth in your mind. Your worst enemy. You become your own worst enemy, right? Do you understand that? You come to your own conclusion with reasoning in your own truth. And that's just a polite way of saying you don't believe in someone else. That's all it is. That's just calling someone else a liar politely on social engineering. That's all it is. You live in a pedestal in a comfort zone. You're controlled by fear, stress and anxiety. And you use those kind of tools. And I think it's disgusting, in my opinion. I think it's absolutely disgusting that the whole millennium age acts like this, and their children's brought up an iPhone, 60, frustrated, 8 years old, and they think it's the best friend by the time they're 12. Take a look at what they're doing. What are they doing to their children? They don't let them play outside anymore, right? They're so afraid to let them play outside, they give them an iPhone. They're also too lazy. They can't bring the children up right at all because they weren't brought up to begin with, right? The whole millennium age and symposium states they're not human, declared on documents, and they don't even believe in it. We can see the way they are with their judgmental behaviour. They disrespect the elders' wisdom and knowledge to the maximum. And we've never seen nothing like it in human history. Believe me, as an elderly, I know that every day in my life, the way that people behave. And I've seen that escalate so dramatically compared to the way we were. We always looked up to elders. We always respect the elders. We never behave the way you do today. It's disgusting. Absolutely filthy. Your children's got no respect whatsoever for the elders, whatsoever on the bus stops and the seats. And they're polarised in the stream wherever they go, in catfish, Instagram. And you brought them up this way. Right? This way so that when I go to the bus stop and I've got a bad back and I'm limping, they'll push out of the way to get the seat first on the bus seat and the bus. That's your children. And I've never seen something so woeful in my life. And then you normalise that. Look at the TV, Kim Kardashian or Beverly Hills Wives, right? Majority looks at these people and want to be like them, and they take Sanatex all the time, can't cope in life, and they act like children. Like, honestly, the most favourite TV in every country in the world, you can see it in Australia, you can see it in America, you can see it in Denmark, right? And you can see people so polarised and become so sensitive and highly emotional with the tools of lies and people on drugs that can't cope in life and lie about it at the same time, and they idolise these idiots. I can't understand how people can be so brain dead. Seriously. Who brought you into the world to behave like this? That's what I'd like to know. I'd like to see your father who brought you into the world to behave like this and bring your children up like this. I'll face him head on. I've got the courage to do that. I'm not moulded like this. I've never changed my moral values. I've never twisted the truth to suit myself and normalised what's immoral yesterday the way that I see society do every day. And they live in brain locked and all about it and can't even function with an intellectual conversation with any love, compassion, loyalty, honour, respect, moral, mirror, range of government. You know, they talk about being humans. They pretend to be humans like they're going to save the world and do this and that, and they can't even save their own back ass. Can't even wipe their own bum. Right? You can see everyone depends on everything so much and depends on us so much and can't even look after us at the same time, but they expect us to wipe their ass and they can't even respect us because they can't function in life. They can't function with nothing anymore because they're like children. Most 40-year-olds are like a 15-year-old. You don't even believe in that. You think it's an insult? I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to give you the best advice anyone can give you in the whole world right now. But you don't believe in it. Well, what mindset are you in? Huh? What kind of human being are you? Are you stopping and thinking about this right? Are you being right? Are you being righteous? Are you doing the right thing with decisions you make? Are you thinking thoroughly through with what you're doing and every action you take? Are you? Are you taking responsibility for your own action? Or you're too judgmental and thinking about everyone else and not yourself? Stop and think about that for a moment. What tools are you using? The tiniest tool and tiniest decision that you make, do you think about the adverse effect it can have upon you and yourself and your family? Do you? I'm asking a very basic question because I'm giving you the best advice I can. You're fast track into nowhere, you're psychologically mental, and use every one of those tools in negative fields and come to your own conclusion with every decision you make. And you've got to stop and analyze what you're doing. When you can't think instinctively and think with your natural organic motor skills in the most positive fields as an optimistical person, then ask yourself, what do you rely on? What's your justification to believe in what you believe in and use the tools that you do to conquer and divide with? Why do you do it? Do you actually know the adverse effect of every decision you make? Do you stop and analyze that? Honestly, do you really think it through? What kind of domino effect it will have upon family, lovers and friends and yourself? Or don't you care? Are you that selfish? Because I can see most people really are. Couldn't give a shit. Couldn't care less. Pretending to be humans and loving, compassionate creatures on social media platform wouldn't have a clue in real life. I meet people all the time, right? And they haven't got a clue. They speak shit on social media platform and text. And when you meet them in real life, they're that piss weak. Nearly every relationship that's ever created for social media platform turns pear-shaped, 99.9%. It's a known fact. Fake friends, fake relationships, fake thinking, and you always think someone's like this, and when you meet them in real life, they're like that. And then you get a shock of your life 99% of the time. And you're disconnected from family, loves and friends in real life, and then pretend you're someone loving on social media platform and got lots of friends, right? And what are you really looking for? Attention. You're really looking for attention you haven't got at home. That's the only reason you come here on social media platform. It's the only reason you come here is because you can't get any attention in real life at home, so you come here for it. And you'll go into some deception to find some sort of comfort zone somewhere because you can't find one anywhere else. You can see that with your kids on Snapchat, Instagram, right? And catfish all over the world and fake profiles, just how insecure they really are and what you've really done to them and what you're doing to yourself. I mean, you know, you don't need to be Einstein to see what's happening all over the world with these social agendas, do you? Do you really need to see that? Do you need to be Einstein to work that out and come to your own conclusion with reasoning and live in your own bubble and your own truth, trapped inside your mindset to believe that? Do you? Is that what you want to use? Every excuse that you always use? Not to be human? Not to be moral, compassionate humans? Not to have any family values to conquer and divide? And can't function in real life? Is that the tools you choose to use to live in your own truth in some sort of comfort zone and consume too much? Is that all you care about? Your consumption and your money and your materialistic things? Is that all you care about? Because I don't see too many people caring about life, humanity, family, loves and friends in real life. No, I don't. And you know, you don't have to be Einstein to see what's happening in your own backyard and see what's happening all over the world. We're on social media platform, far left, far right, and the whole media system with governments and their tools and cops all over the world, the way they're behaving lately. You can see the whole world's pretty nuts. And it's been declared in the documents they are crazy on 60,000 reports. And when you have 20,000 types of ADHD, 60,000 types of psychosis, bipolar, and 12,000 types of psychosis, and it's the same thing. When you have Ebola virus syndrome, right, zombie virus, peer reports from every angle on many different adverse effects from this, and they all got different opinions, but it's the same thing. It's the same thing. It's exactly the same thing. We're losing our natural organic motor skills, and we're losing our sixth sense and getting vertigo and going into extinction and going into massive mental disorders with gene defects all over the world and losing our beta bacteria all over the world on every report, our immunity system collapsing all over the world, and we've got 7,000 defective genes in our body cells going corruption, collusion, and they can only repair when we sleep, when we don't think. When we don't think it's the only time they can repair, that means we're in the wrong mindset because they're supposed to repair 24/7. And only a handful of people can do that think instinctively and think outside the mindset that we live in. The last human beings born on earth has a perfect DNA, no mental disorders, no gene defects, and lives to be double as old as we do. So what are we doing? Because they reported we're in the wrong mindset and they're right and we're wrong. Right? And it's escalating every single time, every social event, right? Cold Wars, 9/11, right? COVID-19, right? People consistently fall into new perceptions that are created with a whole new perception to be more narrative and live more in a comfort zone and live in their own truth. And that's becoming more and more narrow every day. Everyone's living in a narrative, and you can see that on 60,000 reports, that they live in their own narrative with competitive behavior. You can see that in every teacher and every single document in the world. They say they're all designed reverse psychology inverted, and our whole system's inside upside down because of this. From egotism, which is atheism, which is mentalism, which is capitalism, which is socialism, is fascism, and it's communism, and everybody's a communist today. Everyone's an atheist because they're all judgmental, they're all selfish, they're all egotistical, they all debate, conquer and divide, they're all far left, far right, and it doesn't matter what the issue is. Doesn't matter what it's about. BLS, freedom fighting, it doesn't matter what it is. Persecute one another in your own backyard with every single decision being made with every single subject. It's not hard to see the human conditioning, and everyone's in a zombie virus and like robots out there with no moral values whatsoever. And you know, that's why this is the most powerful advice any worst person can give you, right? Where's your moral values at? Where's your loyalty? Where's your honor? Where's your respect? Where's your moral empathy and remorse? Where's your inspiration, encouragement in real life? You all talk about shit. You're far left, far right with your own opinions. But where's your moral values when you look in your own backyard with your own family and friends? You can't talk to your neighbours or anyone anymore. You live in a bubble in a comfort zone on a screen. And you lie about it at the same time. You can't even function like a human being anymore. And you can't lie about it neither. So why are you so two-faced, lying to yourself so much? How come everyone lies to themselves that much when they can't hold an intellectual conversation and they don't even understand their flesh and blood anymore? They don't even know each other anymore. Not with their mental behavior. Every person that comes here to me on this platform comes to me here for the same fucking reason, for God's sake. You want to tell me I'm crazy with 2.5 million followers in Shadow Band for the same reason? Do you want to tell me I'm crazy? Every person that comes here is for the same reason. Every person in the world, they're seeing it in every other platform, in every new belief system in the whole world. They conquer, divide, and create a name themselves and not using their moral values in the right place whatsoever. So why does thousands of people come to me every day, and people finding me closer and closer and more every day, and also completely agree with me on the same page? They don't conquer debate with me. They don't divide with me. They don't have any opinions with this. Right? They're all on exactly the same page here. Every one of them. And it's cops, politicians, druggers, criminals, ex-criminals, people in the streets suffering, politicians, defense force, right? People from the community, people work for the governments in all situations, people from the backyard in a normal fence environment, little people living a little life, ordinary people relating to this. Everybody in the world does, from every walk of civilization. When they give me the opportunity and listen to what I have to say, they can all relate to this with what's happening in real life, what they're all seeing on social media platform, mainstream media, and every single society and every single political field, religious field, and everybody else in their own backyard. It's not difficult, man. Right? What's happening to the world? You want to tell me when you see something like this on every level, in every system in the world, do you not realize what they're doing here? They're conquering and dividing more than ever, and they're putting you into this program engineered to do these tools. You have to change the way you think. You have to go back to your primal state. You have to think instinctively with your natural organic skills. You need to restore your family values. You need to go back and think twice about what you're doing and stop being fast-tracked into nowhere but your own extinction, because that's what's happening. Heredity into genes. It's all in the mind. It's the greatest psychological warfare in human history, no matter what mindset you're in. You know it's true, right? People are soft, weak, sensitive, emotional, live in their own truth, conquer divide with their egotism, and they're scared. And they also first. They have a first, right? The world has a first, a real deep thirst for real love and compassion, man. If you really open up your mind, you realize that everybody in the world, no matter what they're living and no matter what's going on, they have an absolute thirst for one important thing. Real love, man. Real moral values, right? And real inspiration and encouragement, because people are backstabbing each other non-stop, running each other down, belittling each other. No matter what you say, it's a truth. It's the truth. We are running around backstabbing each other, belittling each other, judging each other non-stop, analysing and being analysed non-stop. We all are. And it'd be a good idea to turn around and think, okay, we're all affected by this to one degree or another. We're all using the same tools one degree or another, because that is what they're trying to tell you. We're all responsible and we're all using the same tools, and it's all because of one reason, right? And you've got to think about this completely different. Don't live in the background. Don't live in who did it, what did it, and why. And did I? No, not me, not me, not me. Don't live in denial about this. We're a species of denial, Reclaimed and Dogmas. We're a species of a total denial right now, right? 93% of people die every day from stress-related diseases, take drugs and numb themselves, and live in denial. Proven on documents and DNA evidence, right? When you think outside the mind, your body cells can repair in the most positive fields, like they do when you dream, when you're in sleep time, right? When you repair your body. You can have the most optimistical feelings with the right tools in your primal state, and you have 95% to gain here. Don't think for 1 minute you've got nothing to gain. For 1 second, you have 95% to gain. That's how much we strip from this. So there's nothing to fear here. You can only gain from here. But if you don't change your mindset and get out of the mindset you're in, then you're trapped inside your mind, ultimately designed from extinction, Reclaimed on documents, accelerating. And that's a fact. It's just a fact. But you got to listen to me, okay? This is absolute biblical on every document in the world. There's no doubt about that. But you only got to use your natural guiding skills. You only got to use the relationship. Christianity is about having a relationship. Relationship is what we all have. We are a loving, compassionate creature. And the relationship is 8 tools of righteousness that we feel through the atmosphere. That we feel. It's what we feel, right? It's not what we think. It's what we feel. As a human species, it's what we feel that creates all the adverse effect for our emotional feelings. When we think negative all the time, it hits our emotions, man. That collapses our immune system just by being stress, fear, and anxiety, confusion, frustration, delusion, or paranoia. Any one of those tools, our immune system collapses with, because it's negativity. Okay? It doesn't mean you're evil. It just means we're confused. We're very frustrated. Today, it's reported all over the world, we're in the greatest communication breakdown in human history because of this. And we know it's true. But we've got to find our basic common sense and not think with a high IQ. That's what the problem is. We have to think outside the mind with our natural, organic muscles to be human, right? To be loving, compassionate creatures is to know the 8 tools of righteousness. They are the building blocks and they are the quantum mechanics of the fields and vibrations that we're attached to, right? With the 6th sense. Not the 5 senses with a high IQ, the 6th sense, the most positive fields, right? That's who we really are. Everything else in the world is by design. It's not who we are. The voices in the mind is not us. It's by design, ultimately designed by human extinction. It's the truth, man. There's nothing to be afraid of. The great world transformation movement with Jeremy Griffiths and 15,000 top scientists, Joe Dispenza, Dr. Bruce Lipton, and Winner of the Breathing Program, is the greatest time to be alive to discover this. It's the most beautiful time to be alive. And when you can understand this and do the Winner Breathing Program with ice cold showers for 30 days and listen to Jeremy Griffiths on the World Transformation Movement, trust me, you'll have faith in me. You'll have more than faith in me. You'll know this is the primary problem of climate. We strip from our 6th sense. This is the cure for it. This is the cure for every single thing. In the IPCC sign reports. And the media's not even telling you. Why? Why is no one looking at the primary problem of climate and what we can do about it? Well, this is the answer. This is the answer right here. We have the cure. That's all that matters, right? Jeremy Griffiths explains this biologically on the World Transformation Movement, and every scholar in the world says he is the most important man on the planet with the most important book, freedom from the human condition we suffer from, the voice in the mind. He's the one that made all these declarations. Read his book, man. Read his book, right? Every scholar says this is the most important book on the planet to understand this biologically and psychologically and instinctively. Bruce Lipton says, in Cellular Study Research, our placebo effects tends more powerful than reality. Joe Dispenza says, we can stop the aging process. Winoff's won a Nobel Prize with all the evidence to back this up. Read the book. Look at the science. Look at the results. To think outside the mind with our natural organic maskers instinctively in our primal state. And what's he done? He has 27 Guinness Book of Records for superhuman abilities because he's gone back to that. And what does he say? We can all do this. All of us. It's about believing. It's about love. Everything else is BS. You see how simple that is? Everything else is BS. Every other tool in the world is BS. It's about believing, the placebo effects 10 times more powerful than reality, to think outside the mind, to restore our natural organic maskers, to resurrect back in the image we created in, for God's sake, with the right tools that we really do have. And who do you think is the wisest man about this? Those that know that, for God's sake. Not those that want to program and engineer with psychological mental behavior and use every other belief system, because it's not about religions. It's not about any of the things that you think about. It's about restoring your DNA and having faith in your biological genes to use your natural organic maskers, for God's sake. Now, you know, the love is gone here, man. The care factor's dying, right? There's no doubt about that. And we're all dealing with it. So let's get away from the political bullshit and the religious bullshit and all the persecution for a while. Let's talk about family values. Let's talk about brothers and sisters and loved ones. Let's talk about real life, man. Let's keep it simple. Let's make sure we make every right decision, because text trolling and texting and social media platform cause psychological warfare. Everyone wants to make a name for themselves, causing psychological warfare. Everyone's scared. Everyone wants attention. Everyone over-exaggerates. Everyone lies, and we all do it. And it's not our fault. It's not our fault. Okay? But we all do it. But it's not our fault. Okay? It's nobody's fault. Okay? Some are affected more than others. Some have more stress-related diseases. A lot of people act differently. Okay? A lot differently. Some become egotistical. Some become nervous. Some can show it. Some can hide it. Okay? People act different, man. But believe me, okay? It's not what you think, man. I know that, okay? Most people are good people when you talk with the right tools, and you don't use any other tool to conquer and divide with. Don't come in with your opinions. Right? So if you believe in God or Jesus Christ, keep it to yourself and you say, look, man, I've got faith. Yeah, I believe. You know what I mean? Just give them a lift, man. And when they're facing something really bad or a horrible moment or demons in their mind, just say, mate, should be right, mate. Get out of your mindset. Like, help lift them up again with basic common sense, man. Just use your moral values, man. Don't come in with your opinions. Right? Just keep them to yourself, man, right? And, you know, as you talk to them within time, patience is a virtue. Patience is a virtue, right? And one day you can just say, look, I believe in God. I believe in my moral instincts, man. I believe in family values. I believe in love. I believe in compassion. I believe in loyalty, honor, respect, moral morals, inspiration, encouragement. I don't want to cause people to stumble anymore. I don't want to be one of those people that's judgmental all the time and conquer, debate, and right, far left, far right. I don't want to be that person anymore. I don't want to be entertained by this anymore, because it's happening to everybody. And it's just not right. Right? It's just not right. Basic common sense tells you it's just not right. No matter what people want to believe in, it's just not right. Okay? It's just not right. Okay? What we're doing to our own flesh and blood, our own family, lovers and friends, just isn't right. And we're all responsible for this. To one degree or another, right? With our selfishness, our egotism, or we avoid it, or we live in our own comfort zone, or we can't handle it. No matter what it is, man. Right? This has got to stop. This nonsense has to stop somewhere and go back. The truth's got to snap back. Okay? We've been twisting it too much and twisting the fabric truth so much we normalise what was a mile yesterday non-stop and don't care at the same time. This has to stop, man. Right? We've got to give our kids the right inspiration and have faith in their own biological genes and using the right tools. We do. We can't keep doing this, man. We can't do this to our kids. We can't do this to our loved ones, man. We've got to stand up for righteousness here. We've got to do the right thing, man. Okay, as a brother, sister, mother, and father, we know we do. Now you can either do that, but I don't care what you say. This is the most powerful advice any person in the world can use right now. No matter what mindset and what they believe in, put it aside, man. Right? Start using your moral values, because I can tell you something. There's no one in the world I can't communicate with. For that reason alone, making the right decision and using the right tools. And believe me, it works with anybody in real life. Anybody listens to me and no one can hate me. They only think they can do it mentally. But when they start to know me, no one can. Right? And I rattle their cage because I speak in the truth, and they realize the truth hits them so hard. Right? And they get uncomfortable with that. But believe me, when you're using the moral values in the right place, that becomes the sword that we all have equally. Right? And that's why we need to use it equally. Okay? Now, I can't give you better advice. I don't think anyone can give you better advice than that in the times that we're in now, buddy. Right? In the times we're in right now and what we're all experiencing around the world. I don't think anyone can give you better advice right now how to repair things.